It is great to have you along. I'm meteorologist Andy Parker. We are tracking the blizzard of 22, the Christmas storm. It doesn't have a name yet, but rest assured it will. If you have one, you can go and put it on the side of the screen. We can see your comments. Happy to have you along with me today. Storm chaser and meteorologist David Vogan, who's been sourcing a lot of video for us this afternoon. And there's certainly a lot of images around Western New York popping on the screen. Speaking of images, let's go to this one and we'll bring it full because this is what we're tracking right now. That lake band, it is plowing right through the city of Buffalo and areas to the north. You can see on this screen that it extends inland all the way to portions of Orleans County. Let's talk about what's going on in the city of Buffalo. The hardest hit area between the 90s, the 190, the 90, and the 290. It is hard to even see out a window down here. We can prove it to you because the sky cam in downtown Buffalo has been a whiteout for a long time now, and it doesn't look like that's going to change anytime soon. And we're also finding people who have been stranded, and you say, well, how come people can't move? These folks were at a gas station in Chickamauga until it's let up a little bit. You can barely see the gas pumps from the view that is no less than 30 feet away. An absolute blinding event as you look outside. In addition to that, those wind chills have been sub-zero for a while. They're going to continue to be that way right on into the afternoon, evening, and the foreseeable future. But that is exceptionally tough. David, you've got a traffic camera that I want to bring up right now, and this one is located where?
Oh, this is the base of the Skyway. Look at that. I mean, you could barely see the sign. The winds have been shaking the night-tech cameras at the base of the Skyway. I mean, Andy, it is just one giant toboggan out there on the major routes.
You got it. All right. Bill says he lives in Tonawanda. He says, how much more snow? Well, there's a lot more coming, Bill, because take a look at this. This Doppler scene has a time lapse on it of 2 hours. This has been going as soon as that polar front came in, David. The snow came in, and it really hasn't changed. People want to know how much snow for Buffalo and South Buffalo. We put it up yesterday. It's that 30-inch number. It's a big one. Michelle says, thank you. We appreciate it, Michelle. Thanks for stopping by. Everybody, we're going to knock these questions down as quick as we can. You put the questions in, we provide the answer. All we ask in return is that you hit the like and the share button. Super easy. Whether you're watching us on Twitter, YouTube, or Facebook, please share the stream. It is great. Thank you, Carl. Appreciate it. Everybody's getting hit out there. We've got a lot of updates to give you. Susan, we appreciate it. Thank you so much. How much longer with the winds in Niagara Falls, David? The winds specifically, give a quick breakdown of the time frame on that.
Yeah, going to be gusting big time throughout the overnight hours, finally diminishing once we go into Saturday, but still on the gusty side.
Yeah, that is right, even into the morning hours, but we're not out of the woods with that yet. Chad says, when will they diminish? They'll drop from near 60-mile-an-hour gust to near 40-mile-an-hour gust, but it's going to take until tomorrow afternoon for that. NT was getting pummeled, and it's still not great. We're going to bounce back up and show you that snow band kind of split into two, created a little brother, if you will, and that's the one that got up into the Tonawandas. Let's go to the north towns, and then we'll zero it in because you were looking at the 290 on that camera, David. That was right in the main snow band, but the Tonawandas were actually getting a piece of this other one. Let me bring this full. We're going to show you that real quick as we kind of focus on whatever community that you would want. If you want us to focus on the north towns, we'll give it a look. If you wanted to see what was going on in the south towns, we're happy to do it. This is the Northtown band where you are right on the edge at the 290 there, and you can see some of the blues that were over Tonawanda. A little bit of a break now, but you're going to continue to get these break-offs of that as well. Yes, 2 days, Carl. 2 days is what we're looking at for this whole storm. No doubt about it. Kids want to know if Santa is going to be able to make it there. Yes, and we covered this yesterday. It's a little tongue-in-cheek, but Santa flies over top. He doesn't have to fly through the snow, which is great. Let's see. How's the weather for Saturday at 1 o'clock? Shall we hit it, David? Let's put it on the screen. We have the ability to kind of take you through time. You ask for the location and the time. We'll show you that and let you know if you're going to be able to kind of get from point A to point B. Let's take a peek at it here. Tell us about William tomorrow at 1 p.m. And this is kind of the afternoon. It's kind of what you see is what you get, right, David?
Yeah, I mean, this band really doesn't budge at all. It is going to be locked in Buffalo, just around the Amherst area. I mean, again, it's like what you said. Through 5 o'clock tomorrow on Christmas Eve, that band is right there. It's barely going to budge. Then we start to talk about Christmas Eve, and then it barely pushes southward into more of the deeper south towns there. I think somebody out in here from Derby was asking, hey, is this band coming back to my backyard? Yes, just not today, not tonight. It's going to be Saturday evening.
Yep. When will the band move into the Derby area? If we look at it there, let's take this in time chunks. What I'd like to do, David, is look at it now. Tomorrow after 2 o'clock in the afternoon is when Derby starts to get swallowed up.
Yeah, this is 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and Derby is right around here in this area. So this is 18 Mile Creek. This is Derby. So this is 2 o'clock. The heavier snow begins to arrive just after 2, 3, 4. Look at the darker blues. That's the heavy stuff right there. So right around 8 o'clock, you're smack dab in the middle of it.
All right, Derby, there you go. Let's pull this back out, bring it back to the current time so that we can see where it is right now, and we'll take a few more questions here. We want to know another one about when will the wind taper off? Not until the pre-dawn hours of tomorrow morning. So that is it. It's rather calmish in Orchard Park. You could say that. If you're outside of the snow band, you have that gusty wind, but you don't have the whiteouts that you're getting everywhere else. When are the power outages supposed to stop? Well, they probably are going to start becoming less as we get to tomorrow morning. If you have power tomorrow morning, you're not likely to lose it after that. When's it going to get back and return to, when will it end? I'll be returning to Buffalo on Tuesday. It looks like, David, we just looked at it. The end of the lake effect is, what day was that?
Late Sunday, early Monday.
Early Monday. So by Tuesday, you're looking good. South Buffalo on Sunday. Let's roll this through time, David. Take us into South Buffalo. I think we have some good news for Mary, don't we?
Yeah, South Buffalo, Christmas Day. I mean, here, we can go a little bit closer to here. So this is where South Buffalo is located with the circling cursor. Once we go past 5, 6, 7, 8, finally just on the edge of getting out of the South Buffalo area. Not going to happen until overnight on Sunday morning is when you can expect the snow to stop.
There you go. There's your Christmas gift, Mary. Sunday morning, you may open it up and find that you don't have any snow flying by your window out there. Tonawanda and Cheektowaga, Saturday if we can, and there's a please in there. We love that. By the way, if you could like and share this stream, that would be awesome. All it takes is one small click, one moment of your time, but it makes such a big difference for Western New Yorkers. We were able to help thousands of people yesterday. We're going to try to do it again today, and it all is because of you. You drive the bus. Tell us what you want to see, and we'll give it to you there. Aaron says it's nonstop snow. Do we have Cheektowaga on Saturday? Let's bring it full. And
yeah, Madison wanted Cheektowaga and Tonawanda, correct?
That's correct.
Okay, so this is 4:28 Saturday evening. You can see Cheektowaga, you're still in the band right now. Tonawanda starting to see those flakes out of your backyard, and Cheektowaga gonna have to wait a little bit longer past 10 o'clock in the evening.
There you go.
When that band is officially south.
All right, Madison, thank you very much. Here's another one. Can I travel from Rochester to Williamsville tomorrow night? So let's go ahead and put the North Towns on the screen. That track from Rochester to Williamsville tomorrow night. When do you get the all clear on this one? David, I'm thinking it is not going to come until a little bit later because that snow band will interact with Rochester for a little while. That would be the tough one. Take 104, don't take the 90, and you'll have a much better chance. First of all, the 90 probably won't be open, so you'd be on those secondary roads anyway. All right, the electric crews have been working hard today, maintaining power. We heard that they can be there in as little as 15 minutes. Harris Hill getting clobbered right now. That's another one here. Hi, Tammy. How you doing? Great to have you in the house. She lives on the lake at Went Beach. How bad was the storm surge? It hit its peak, and it looks like it's going to stay high, but I think we avoided the disaster that could have been. Hannah wants to know, when will this blizzard calm down in Depew? David, take us through the Depew forecast there.
Yeah, Depew, right up here, 2028, that's Town Line, Lancaster. So this is not going to lighten up for you folks until, as I rewind time here, not until Saturday evening is when I would say I could give you almost the all clear, but it's going to take its time just drifting south and south. But you can see this is Saturday evening, 10 o'clock. Yep. That's when that band is starting to leave the area.
All right, sounds good. We got that. Here's the question about the lake level meter. And so as we kind of watch this number go, we did get up to 7. I believe it made it to 8 feet, but this is canal side. It traditionally, once over 4 or 5 feet of storm surge, gets swamped. And you can see the boats were rocking down there at the Naval Servicemen's Park. There were some big waves out over the lake. Heard rumors that they were about 10 footers off the shoreline there as these came rolling in on those big winds. So we're going to bring this back in and talk more about people want to know where this wants to be, where this is going before anything else. I think when is Lancaster going to get in all this? I've got to tell you, the people in Lancaster have such a complex because they're the ones that are always in this. They're just waiting for the shoe to drop, David. When does it get into Lancaster? Can we rewind it and show when it shows up there?
Yeah, sorry about that. I was trying to do some social media. Okay.
Oh, no, all good. I know everybody's multitasking big time today. Even at your houses, if you're home watching this, a lot of people didn't make it into the work. So they're trying to do their thing.
Okay, so you wanted to know about Lancaster again?
Yeah, she wants to know when this arrives in Lancaster. And as a matter of fact, let's call, just don't go too far in because let's clump a bunch of communities together. Roll this back a little bit later. And it looks like it starts to sneak in. It's really that narrow band of blue that we're concerned about. Does it ever get into the deeper south towns like Orchard Park, West Seneca, and Lancaster tonight?
Just on the border. I mean, just on the border.
Yep.
But I would say, a better chance for the heavy lake effect to be in Buffalo and in some of the north towns tonight.
So again, Lancaster not in the bullseye, just on the fringe. Mary said, Tonawanda, would it be better 6 or 7 p.m.? Yes, it would. Tomorrow in Tonawanda, you're going to find improvement there as well. When will the worst winds be in Kenmore for Jen? We talked about that, or Justin, that is tonight, and then it's gone. We talked about Orchard Park being on the outside looking in, Michael, and I think tomorrow is the day that it'll end up in here. Can you drive Syracuse Sunday at noon? It depends on where you're leaving from and if you can find an open section of the thruway to start. Once you're out of the Buffalo area, you are good to go. Any chance for the north towns, or you're free? David, let's rack this to where it is right now. And we'll just kind of show the progression of this for the north towns. And it depends on which north town. If you're open it up to Niagara County, if you will. And if you're in Niagara Falls and Youngstown, that's where you're going to have the openings in this. Take us through it here real quick through around 9 o'clock tonight.
Yeah, I mean, what you see is what you get, and this is just going to lock on in from Buffalo into the thruway areas and throughout time. I mean, just might as well just keep going here. This is Saturday morning, Christmas Eve, and it just stays there. The next time it's going to move south, or the next major shift is going to be late Saturday into Sunday.
You got it. South Grand Island Bridge is about the cutoff here. Carl's got a statement. He says emergency responders are extremely busy with people that try to drive in whiteout. Stay inside. He's on duty at the East Seneca Hose with a great crew. Best of luck to all you guys and the first responders out there. This is not fun. You train for this. The folks that are out driving and get stuck, they have not trained, and they're in for a very rude awakening. Will the travel ban be lifted in Hamburg tomorrow? We're going to say no. There's nothing that the government officials are going to look at that's going to give them some freedom to make that decision. This ban is still keep going, so I think the majors are going to stay closed for a while. Wind gust now in Williamsville, David, I think we're still between 55 and 65, right?
Yeah.
And we topped out at what was the peak wind was greater than 70 in a couple locations.
Almost 80 miles an hour in Lackawanna.
Lackawanna is the big winner for the win. How about Sunday, 3 p.m. for the Coach USA from Buffalo back to James? You're going from Buffalo back to Jamestown tomorrow. That's a heck of a drive. There's no easy way. You'd have to go right through the teeth of this on Saturday. Yep, that it is. And then we look at this one here. We've got Williamsville been slammed all day, going to continue to be that way as well. Let me pull the radar back up, and we'll give you an idea of where these totals are going. Not many people are talking about totals, but we'll pop this on the map. That's the snow zone, as you will. As you see the area in the teal in there, that's the spot that's going to get the most snow. And you can see that we're into that 30-inch range in there. That is a big one. Anything in that teal, you're going to end up 30 inches of snow, and those aren't just the drifts. That's just the legit snow. Hasn't stopped in Buffalo all day. Well, Heather, that's why these numbers in Buffalo are through the roof. That's why Buffalo is in the core. right in the center of that, because those where those numbers are going to be fairly big. We were estimating the snow rate, which is a lot harder when it's sideways, between 1 and 3 inches of snow an hour. And if you do the math, and this sits there throughout the day today, overnight tonight, and for a half of tomorrow, you're going to continue to add that up. When is going to be okay to drive? It's actually okay to drive outside of these areas. If you're not getting hit with the snow, as we look at this here, the radar, you're going to notice that outside of these areas, you're not having a problem. That's why the folks in Orchard Park were saying, hey, when, this isn't so bad. There's a lot of people outside of the lake band that say, oh, this storm isn't as bad as I thought. Niagara Falls, this is not wandering your way right away. It's going to give you a break. You were hit this morning. You're really not looking at a lot of accumulation in the falls. You'll have a little piece of this on occasion, but you can see how that slides up and into your area there. Let's take another one here. This is Joe. He said, the storm seemed to arrive earlier than expected. I mean, this thing rang the bell at the time it was supposed to come in, between 7 and 8 a.m., and then the winds were right on there as well. Another one for Niagara Falls. Let's go up and zero in on the North Town. Since everybody wants to talk about Niagara Falls, let's do it. And you can see that up there in the falls, we're just to the south of it now. We've got some snow in Kenmore, and about the 290, but it's not going much further north than that. Hamburg on Christmas Day. You ready to pick this one up, Dave? We'll pull it on the screen here and give her a look. The South Towns will add a few more communities in there and call it Christmas Day. And it looks like that's when this begins to move south.
Yeah, that's when the flakes are going to fly back in Hamburg. I mean, it's going to sit on top of Hamburg for the overnight hours, early Sunday morning, and it kind of just straddles there. I mean, this is going to impact Hamburg, Dunkirk, Westfield, so the areas that aren't going to get hit for today, for Saturday, your turn's going to be on Sunday.
There you go. Sunday for Hamburg. So you're kind of sitting in the clear for a little while here during the day today as it stays an arm's length away. Looking for road travel tomorrow in the Lewiston area. Don't think that that's going to be a big problem. If you rewind this a little, Dave, I don't think Lewiston, it doesn't ever make it to the middle. It gets on the fringe, but it doesn't look like Lewiston is going to take another direct hit. You guys, again, are on the outside looking in. I think by around 8 o'clock tonight, if you haven't gotten another hit in Lewiston, that might be all she wrote for you up there as far as heavier snow. Orleans County, Carlton, New York, snow totals. First of all, we'll show you Orleans County, and the reason that your totals are going to be significant up there is because of what you're going to see on the screen right now, how that lake band extends all the way out to your county up there, and that's how you're going to find, that's how you get your snow. Now, here's how much snow you're going to get up there in Orleans County. So we'll put this back on the map, and as we do it, we can kind of show you the snow in different regions. Not a huge hit, but boy, you go right to the border, and the numbers start going up, but then they drop off very quickly as that snow dissipates by the time it gets up there. Boston, as we go to the south, let's go to the South Towns and put a bullseye on Boston. You're not going to see the snow down there in Boston until tomorrow, but the Boston Hills, again, not a direct hit. You're not in that 30 range. You're in that 10 to 20 inch range from tonight through Christmas Day. We did Boston, and someone wants to thank Carl for all the work and all the first responders. We always appreciate that. Thank you very much. What was the highest wind gust near the Seven Corners Stadium area? I think the highest wind gust, David, will pop up on the screen. There were a number of them out there, a few 70s, the one that was maybe closest to the stadium in Orchard Park.
Yeah, and if you go further north, Lackawanna, that's the bell ringer, almost 80-mile-an-hour gusts,
Yeah.
79 mile-an-hour gusts. That was recorded this morning.
You got it. It says her map is saying 3 degrees in I'm gonna put your map up there. 3 degrees in OP right now. Wow. That's cold. It'll probably go below 0 tonight. As we are watching the snow map again, I'm going to put this on a loop, and then you guys can get an idea for what's happening on this loop. So let me pull this off the screen. That shouldn't be there either. Make it super simple for everybody to take a peek at. And someone says, Merry Christmas. We got it. Love that. And Christmas is coming very quick. Lancaster is horrid. No, we've heard Lancaster isn't so bad right now. They're just waiting for it to get worse. Lockport, let's touch on Lockport. I'll freeze it here as we go back to the North Towns and give folks a look at Lockport. They're going to be, again, kind of they're playing on the edge of this snow band again, and it looks like it's not going to make a huge push back. So Lockport, I think after tonight, I don't want to say you're in the clear, but you're not going to be in the center of that band for a while, because the trend is for it to go further south. There we go. Holland, New York. We talked about that. And then in here it says, how will it be NT in the afternoon, wind and snow wise? For the rest of today, we talked about North Tonawanda. You're on the edge of that snow band. Nate, I'm going to bring that back in here, Dave. And then and that's what we're looking at there. The Sunset Bay photo. No, I haven't seen that one yet. But if you want to share it with us, that'd be great. That's super cool. A lot of Tonawandas in Niagara Falls in the house. Very concerned about what this is going to do up there. Where's it going to go? And Lockport is in here. All the flooding at Sunset Bay. Yes, haven't seen the video yet, but I'm sure there's going to be some down there with that storm surge and the waves the way they were. Let's look at this snow band if we can. And again, zoom in a little bit from Buffalo, maybe up to Niagara Falls. And let's just take a peek at when that northern jog, if it's going to move. But everything that we saw, if you're on the southern side of Grand Island, that's where the level of concern is. Other than that, we're not really looking at a direct hit for the falls, and into even Lockport is going to be tough to see this thing hit you guys, because it looks like it's going to stay on an angle that remains unfavorable for you guys to get hit. Lulu, thank you. Hey, all you had to do is give us a share and a like. If you do that, that'd be great. We're looking at that right now. We've got a number of people that just came in the room, hundreds as a matter of fact. And if you can all hit that like and share button, that'll keep this rolling. And we appreciate it. We'll answer all your questions and take care of this. We've got a car stuck on the 33 on its way home. Your parents rescued me and your 6-year-old. Well, goodness, man. I'm glad somebody was able to get to you, because 3 degrees out there, that is not easy. Driving in the South Towns, dinner time, Christmas, David. Let me bring that full. Answer that one for Maureen, could you?
Yeah, sorry, I was still mining social media. Yeah, Christmas dinner in the South Towns. That is going to be, well, Christmas Eve. That's when that band moves on through. Christmas Day, that band will be just south of the deep South Towns. So that's going to be heading into ski country for Christmas Eve. For Christmas Eve night. Christmas Day, band will be south of the South Towns right there.
Okay, so hopefully it will continue its trek and spread the love outside of people that are getting hit. 2 p.m. West Seneca tomorrow. We've got it at 10 o'clock. Why don't we pull that clock back just a little bit for us, Dave? About 8 hours, and then we'll answer this question for Cheryl in West Seneca. It looks like you're going to be right on the edge of this thing from tomorrow afternoon. Yeah, there it goes. It makes its move on Christmas Day to some speed, and that's the big question. How fast is it going to transition from downtown Buffalo to areas to the south? Lockport to Orchard Park tomorrow. If it's going to be within this window, that's what you're driving through right there, Greg. Not an easy drive. Medina tomorrow is looking better in Medina than it does today. You're in this snow zone as it's getting pushed all the way to the other the shoreline of Lake Ontario. And then take a look at this. This is the video. I don't know if everybody's seen it. If you hadn't, we'll bring it up again, because this is what it looked like inside Cheektowaga. These are folks that were stuck at a gas station, nowhere to go. That's what a whiteout does. You can hear the wind through the microphone. You can't even see the gas stands there. And much of Niagara County and Niagara Falls, you're going to get about 6 inches of snow out of this. Some of that's already on the ground. I don't think you're going to continue to do that. Keep losing power in Cheektowaga. Absolutely. We're hearing a lot of that. So many people are without power as well. I'm going to go to some of the most recent comments that just came in. It says, what were the wind gusts in Wheatfield for Christine? We had those that were in the 60 to 70 mile an hour range. And then David says the power went back on at 4 p.m. and it's very, very cold outside. Absolutely. We're looking here, Chautauqua County, snow in Chautauqua County, not until late in the day tomorrow. It looks like we're out of power again in the Clinton area. And that's where we've got that. Let's bring this back in. This one, we'll go to We'll go to the snow totals. Someone wants to know totals for Derby, and this is what we're going to do for Deb. Hi, Deborah. Great to have you along, and we're going to put this on here and slide you south. And right now, you'd never know it in Derby because it's not as bad as it is in Buffalo. But as this sinks to the south, you're going to see these big numbers. It's a very fluffy snow. You're going to be between 20 and 30 inches as this kind of resides over your area at a couple inches an hour. If it stays there for 10 hours, that's how you add up that, and you'll end up with that kind of thing. No, snow expectations. This is kind of what we're looking at. Amy, just give me a town, and we're happy to do it for you as we continue. Oh, go ahead. Yep.
I was going to say we got brand new video in from Western New York News Now from our friends down there in Jamestown. They were just up in Sunset Bay. And all that water and that surge went into some of the homes in Hanover. This is Sunset Bay, flooded in Chautauqua County. So you just put the video here, but you can see like he's just wearing boots. It's all iced over, and all of that, it's just shoved into the neighborhoods, the homes. I mean, that is an icy, icy mess out there for some of the folks out there in Sunset Bay. So just wanted to give you the heads up here that is a situation that's happening in Hanover and Sunset Bay. That is not a good situation there.
No, that's going to be a mess because all that's going to turn to ice really quick. It's full of ice, and it'll keep going. This is what it looks like when we have the lake storm surge meter. This came up to around 7 or I think 8 feet, and it's not done yet. As the bigger winds coming in, it's still going to keep the lake levels very high. You can see that it did raise and elevate very much so, about 8 feet from what it's normal. And these are the waves that were out on Lake Erie. Just some massive waves as the lake very angered by all of this wind, as is everybody else on this one. All right, Ashley is interested in East Aurora. So are we. We've got it on the map for you. Super easy to do. You're not going to get hit in East Aurora until it looks like tomorrow, as that moves a little further south. Hamburg is awful right now. I think it depends on what part of Hamburg you're in, because as we do this and bring Hamburg back up, as we were looking at it before, the shoreline of Hamburg is going to be a lot worse than areas inland. And you don't need to know what the decibel level of those reports are, but you can see it here. It depends on what part of Hamburg you're in. The shoreline is going to be a lot worse than areas inland. If you're closer to Eden, it's not as bad. The wind was shaking the hotel tower that you're staying in downtown Buffalo. I believe it. I've been in the Avant building, and that building has some sway to it as well. Snow totals in Buffalo, you can pretty much throw a 30 on top of you there in downtown Buffalo, because look at this. It is not moving. It's standing right where it is. This is the Doppler as we see it right now, zeroing into downtown Buffalo. I'm going to pull you out of there, Richard, but this is where the heaviest snow is, from around the 90-190 interchange to the 90-290, and then as you get up to that South Grand Island Bridge. Tomorrow in Tonawanda, Williamsville in the afternoon, improving conditions for all those locations, not at 1 o'clock, but at around 5 o'clock, Kayla. That's what you've got there now. When will the weather calm down? The winds will slowly settle, but I shouldn't say they'll slowly ratchet down. They don't settle until the end of the weekend into Monday. Large tree down in NT. We're hearing a lot about that. Clarence getting slammed. You're on the map right now. And as we look at Clarence, it's going to be continually right in the center of this until it slides. When it leaves Buffalo, it'll leave Clarence. It's on that type of an angle that is causing Clarence and Buffalo to be kind of joined at the hip in this. We've got wind gust speeds near the stadium, 7 corners. You can bet that those wind gusts were in excess of 60 miles an hour, because we've had some 70 mile an hour plus readings in that area as well. Best day to travel for South Cheektowaga. Should we talk about that? It looks like it's going to be tomorrow evening. I believe that's when it finally slides south of South Cheektowaga and then offers some improvement. Dave, you ready to take one from Alden to Clarence to deliver mail tomorrow? Alden to
Clarence. Yeah, that's going to be a tricky one, because that band is going to be in the Alden and Clarence area. It's going to be locked right in there. Not going to happen, or at least we're going to see the shift south until late Christmas Eve. So that is going to be tough if you can.
There you go. All right, Clinton area in Buffalo. You're right in the center of this thing, and it's not moving. This is where it's going to stay. You're in the snow zone. That's that core right there in those dark blues. Lakeview says the winds are really, really whipping whiteouts towards the lake in a strange direction. Yeah, it's a swirling wind when you start to tangle it into that lake effect. How much snow for OP? So we'll go back to the snow map here. We can bounce between the two. You ask the questions, we give you the answers. All we ask in return is that you hit that like button that you've got, no matter what your social media is. If you're catching us on YouTube or Twitter or on Facebook, feel free to just share this stream. It means the world to us, and it helps everybody else out as well. Kind of like pay it forward here at Christmas time. As you get down into OP, we'll bring this up. The stadium is there, but Orchard Park runs into Hamburg, and you can pretty much add all of these together. The totals will get bigger the closer to the lake you go. You'll have some extra snow. And as you go inland closer to East Aurora, the numbers drop off significantly there as well. OP. Tomorrow, anybody, she said, fill me in on OP tomorrow. Well, just you ask and we'll tell you, Krista. There you go. Orchard Park tomorrow. When is it going to be? When is that center of the band going to hit OP on Saturday?
Well, you know what? Gonna have to wait a little bit longer because OP is well north or well south of the band right now. Gonna start to see that band drift a little bit southward here. So OP, that's where the Five Corners are. You can see it right here. This is Christmas Eve morning, still to the north. And then once we go into the afternoon, late afternoon, early evening, that's when the band can pick on up for you folks out there in OP.
There you go. So tomorrow afternoon into the evening as the sun sets, that's when the whiteouts begin. And a lot of people want to know when the wind is going to stop. The strong winds die down to or I should say the extreme winds will die down to strong winds as we get to tomorrow. Jeffrey, happy Festivus to you as well. Love Seinfeld as much as anybody else in here. Town of Wanda's in the house. Wondering about tonight, will it get worse? You still have the potential for power outages with these gusts that'll continue right through the overnight. Tomorrow morning, if you haven't lost power by tomorrow morning, you're in a much better spot. All right, here's another travel one. Best bet for expats arriving for the holidays via roads from the south. It's going to be tricky. What day? I'm not sure when they're going to go. If they want to queue themselves up, they could make it pretty close coming up from the south, just not on any of the highways. Eventually, they're going to have to dump off onto the secondaries and do that. Kim says she hasn't been able to see the other side of the street since early this morning. Do we think the travel bans are going to continue on Saturday? Yes. Sunday, I think it's a better situation. I think they'll have enough information to pull some of the bans from the north towns, but portions of the thruway will be closed right through Sunday. Info on Albion tonight. That's the map that we're looking at on the screen, and what we can do is take you up to Albion in the north towns there. We can actually grab a couple of communities, and you can see they're just to the east of Medina, closer to Rochester. Look how close to that band is. It's Buffalo, Clarence, and then cutting just to the south of Albion. And then we've got, I saw Akron in here, and Amanda wants to know about Akron. Man, that's a lot of A's. So we've got Karen in Albion and Amanda in Akron, asking Andy about the evening in the north towns. And go ahead, take it away. When does this clear those areas?
Clears those areas once we go into the afternoon. You can see slight jog northward, but in the afternoon, there it is starting to budge southward. 5:40, 5:50 into the evening hours, and by 7-8 o'clock, this is going to be well south of the area.
Got it. And if they were looking for a snow total in that area, we can do that as well. Pop that on the screen. I know if sometimes people say, what about this town? And we're not sure if you're asking about when the snow is going to be there. If you're looking for snow totals, you're in the 6 to 10 inch range, but look how quick it drops off. Almost down to nothing by the time you get to the shoreline of Lake Ontario. Keep in mind, a lot of that Some of that has already fallen. When will it clear up in Cheektowaga? It won't for a while, not until tomorrow. Don't expect you're going to see anything different. When is it going to hit South Towns in the OP area? Ashley wanted to know. I think we talked about tomorrow at maybe between 3 and 6 p.m. That's when the center of the band is going to get down there. Tonawanda, how long is it going to be there? It's going to be there just hovering to the south of you, very long into the evening and overnight. No power in Lovejoy. Appreciate it. Thank you very much, Deanna. I love that. Everybody else, if you can do a quick share and a like on us, we'll just keep rolling. No stops, no commercials. You guys control the content by asking your questions. We'll just keep all of the answers coming as far as we can. Should we worry about power outages in the Bradford area? I haven't seen, Dave, I'm going to put you on the spot. Have you seen the outage map today?
Oh, yes. I would say the most outages out of anybody in the area is Erie County. I haven't checked it within a couple of hours, but I know for a fact it was Erie County, and then we had some in the southern tier, but it wasn't as widespread out there in the deeper southern tier compared to Erie County.
You got it. Hey, this one, another one about Orleans County. I think we talked about this. As the band starts to shift on the afternoon and evening hours of Saturday, that's when Orleans gets better as well. We've got a Christmas Eve drive from Clarence to East Aurora on Christmas Eve. I don't think that's happening. I mean, I just don't see a pathway. You can't even, you go 104 to Rod. You could actually try to drive around it. But you're in Clarence. I don't know how you can see anything in Clarence. We've got reports that Clarence is whiteout conditions up there. Not a very pleasant situation. Boulevard Mall has been a whiteout all day. Yep, it is not pretty up there. You've got a lot of them there. All right, how about this one? The 90 East, 12 to 1. Very, very easy. Closed. But if you do manage to get on there, I don't want to joke. If you can manage to get on the 90 and you're going east, you're not going to have an issue there. I think we're looking for a prediction for Eggertsville, the Snyder area. So we've got the map up here. Let's go kind of zoom in a little bit more for this and bring it on the screen for them. And that may help out. There we go. And we're looking for that Amherst Snyder area. You're in the snow zone, as we have referred to it on and off. And you can see that the reason is you're right in the center of that band for a long time. North Collins, Christmas Day, the later it is on Christmas. If you're not waking up to snow in North Collins, but you're probably going to bed to snow in North Collins. East Aurora tomorrow, the afternoon there. We got a couple of football players. You're going to have that snow arriving. Dave, can we pop that on the map for East Aurora in reference to the game? Because a lot of folks might want to get over to somebody's house. We know it's Christmas the next day, but there's a Bills game here, and that's going to be on Christmas Eve. And you can see that East Aurora tomorrow, maybe during the game itself, could start to diminish. But keep in mind, this is a projection. We're a day out on this. If it might be the fudge factor is about a community or so. So it's still going to be in that area for that as well. Thank you, Dave. Oh, hey, we've got more flooding video. Dave, take it away.
Oh, it's not video, but it was a picture shared with us from Sheila, and this is back in Sunset Bay. So I'm just trying to zoom on in closer here. You can see, I mean, that is some good water, and it's already starting to ice up here. This is going up to the houses. Yep. I mean, look at that.
Wow.
Yeah, that's not good.
It's up on the foundation, so that is a mess.
Yeah.
We talked about the lake shores getting flooded by that, and they certainly did. My goodness, that's what 8 feet of water or 8 feet of water rise will do to you. Holy cow! All right, here it says, why can't we answer about Cheektowaga by the airport? I think we've covered Cheektowaga a couple times, but let's do it. We'll do it again. I don't mind. You guys ask the questions. We'll provide the answers as much as we can. You got 30 inches of snow. You're not coming out of the snow, Kathy, until tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow afternoon. We've got this one here. Power just lost power 30 minutes ago. Gary, the situation you are in Lovejoy and Sloan, it's going to be extremely difficult for them to get there, especially if they have to climb the pole. I've been told by an electrician who's kind of worked with these guys shoulder to shoulder, the bucket trucks aren't happening. They cannot get up the poles. So if they can't correct it near the ground, then this is something that they're going to have to put on the back burner, and you're going to be in that situation. If you're without power, it could be a longer duration than you would like. What does Matt say here? He says, okay, for Christmas Day, wind comes down on Christmas morning. It does. That's a Christmas gift. Could be the snow moving out of Buffalo, and then the winds dying down a little bit as well. Lots of time. Lots of overtime for those still at work. You got it. There's going to be plenty of people working to try to make this happen. KC says, will it be whiteouts when the wind dies down, David? Even in the Sunday, talk about the wind speeds, 35-mile-an-hour gust with blowing snow, still a problem.
Yeah, I mean, look, your biggest gusts are happening now. They're peaking into the overnight hours. Then it's going to die off a Sunday or Saturday morning a little bit. You're still getting gusty winds, 40 to 50 miles an hour. I was just looking at a video right now of somebody on Twitter at the Buffalo Naval Park, and that water is just up to the sidewalk. And you're seeing the water just pour over right now.
That's the camera in downtown Buffalo right now, and I popped it up there because for a moment you could actually see the trees in the houses, and the trees are blowing pretty violently down there. Suzanne's got family coming in from Albany to Clarence tomorrow. Good luck getting to Clarence. Now, if you wait a little bit, they're having no problems from Albany, but as you get closer to Western New York, number one, you're going to bump into the thruway being closed. Just take a northern route and don't get off the thruway and go south. Just take a northern cut through like 104 or something like that. Total in Lakeview, and possibly a timeline to decide when to try to stay ahead of the snow to snow blow. And so, Joe, let's unpack Lakeview for the arrival time tomorrow. And you're getting hit occasionally in Lakeview by some of these bands that are hitting Buffalo. So you're getting kind of the leftovers or the cast-offs of the snow that's currently happening, and you're trying to take care of that. You can see how it's kind of impacting the shoreline there. Even though it's hitting the city, it is hitting Hamburg or the shoreline, not areas inland. But there you go. Into tomorrow morning, the afternoon, I think you're just going to have to try to stay on top of that as best you can. I can't say that there's a better time than the other. It's what you see is what you get in that spot all the way there. How's it in Victor? Through tonight, Victor's outside of Rochester. Victor, you're going to suffer the same fate as Buffalo and Clarence as that snow band migrates through there. Power out was in Cheektowaga, 9 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Still no internet. Looks like a snow globe, and it looks like you're going to have to sit that way for a while, because when you have stuff that looks like this is what's happening in Cheektowaga. It's no joke. Just listen to the wind for a moment. It's 3 degrees, wind chills of minus double digits, and David, who is here stuck, not this David that's working with me, but another one, was trying to help out his mom, and on his way home got swallowed up by the lake effect, and that's why nobody was going anywhere. We've got the city of Tonawanda morning versus evening tomorrow. Hands down evening, right, Dave? Hands down.
Yes, I'm sorry. I couldn't hear you.
Yeah,
over the audio.
Let me kill that. Bring this up.
I mean, are we outside? What are we doing?
Yeah, it was Tonawanda. Real simple. Morning versus evening. Evening wins hands down.
Okay, and this is for Christmas Eve, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, the evening's the better chance to get out.
There you go. How about Hoax? Haven't seen a picture of Hoax yet. I know you were there yesterday. The drone stuff looked good. I know we're gonna, if someone left their car there last night, I'm sure the car will make global headlines as the ice car. Power out in Cheektowaga near the Blue Water Tower since 9 a.m. this morning. I'm telling you, Tom, they're not going to have the ability to put the buckets up. So if they can't figure it out locally at the ground, they're not going to do it. Let's talk about Lockport for Jenny here. We've got Lockport and Kenmore in the house, and we're happy to answer those questions. We're knocking them down as fast as we can. Folks, we are 3 away from 500 in the like department. Would anyone in here like to provide those 3 to get us up and over 500? That'd be awesome. Thank you so much. We're cranking these out as best we can, helping everybody out there to find the answer to their questions and try to connect loved ones on this very special holiday. And that's what we're trying to do. If you could hit the share button as well, that would go a very long way in allowing others. Facebook, when they see it shared, they allow others to come in and partake. So that's kind of that's on you. If you guys can kind of pay it forward to other Western New Yorkers by sharing this, that would be great. We're going to talk about Newfane. Ready, David? Let's do that. Kenmore up to Lockport and Newfane.
Okay, we could widen this out a little bit because Kenmore is right up here towards the 990. Newfane is right up there. So Newfane, you folks up there, you're not going to really see much of the snow. What you are getting right now is pretty much what you're going to get through at least early Christmas morning. But Kenmore, you're still going to be in the thick of things at times. You see that band Christmas Eve morning right up here towards the 990. Amherst seeing impacts, significant impacts, that is. And this band just is going to be locked in the populated areas until we get into Christmas Eve during the late evening overnight hours. That's where we're going to see that shift south into the south towns.
There you go. I think if everybody listening, the one thing you can take away is that shift is going to be the saving grace for a lot of these communities to allow them to get out and move around on Christmas Day. West side of Buffalo near the Peace Bridge, can't see across the street. They're in the middle of a snow globe, and I can tell you this is the view that we have from our camera in downtown Buffalo. It's about 16 stories up, and normally that's a gorgeous view. The Peace Bridge, the lakefront would be there in the distance, and only on occasion you can make out a couple of the lights, but only on occasion can you see the trees and the houses there. That is that's a mess. There's Lockport, Newfane. We covered them as well. Lackawanna, 79 miles an hour earlier in the day. The wind and snow predictions going forward in Lackawanna. What I'd like to do is pop Lackawanna up. I'll take care of the snow prediction, David, and then we're going to show them how close Lackawanna is to the center of this snow band that's currently on the map. Lackawanna right in there. You see the 190. You're in the snow zone, no doubt about it. This is one of the spots that's going to have the hardest hit, and then you cross the 90 in Cheektowaga. You're also hard hit. And then there's in West Seneca, these numbers will also come in, but it looks like that'll be picked up a lot during the course of the day on Saturday. I think that's when you have your best chance in there again. Asking about Lakeview. She'd like to get some answers on Lakeview. And I think if we look, let me do this again. If we slide down the list here into Lakeview, you're in this area that's going to see a lot of snow. Because you're getting the snow today in Lakeview, you're going to get the snow tomorrow in Lakeview, and it looks like you may end up with a triple threat where it still sits on there for Sunday as well. West Falls out to East Aurora, late Saturday afternoon and early Saturday evening, whiteouts and or snow. I think if you're building a menu, you would put whiteouts on there, you'd put snow, and then you'd also put the wind as well. And that will not be for the morning hours, but it looks like at some point in the afternoon, it'll start to visit. The Lake Band has a chance to visit both West Falls and East Aurora. So that's what we're looking at here. The North Towns getting hit instead of the Snowbelt South Towns. I think a lot of folks would say that when you look at this map, there are more. Well, you know what? I've got to say, it looks pretty. Would you say that's evenly divided between, let's say the Metro is there, but there's probably as many North Towns affected as South Towns on this snow map?
Yeah. I mean, that's a big area that will see significant snowfall.
Yeah, you know who's not involved in all of this? You know, Kelly, thank you for the comment. Who's not involved in all of this is areas like Jamestown, Olean, Ellicottville. Ellicottville would welcome 30 inches of powder into their backyard. They might buy it from you, but they're not getting it out of this storm. Totals until what time? The totals are going to be today, Friday, Saturday, and then into Sunday morning. So it is a 3-day total. But the reason that I don't hesitate to put that on, a lot of times we don't like clumping them together, but the fact is the band has such little movement that it makes sense, because you're not going to get, you're not going to have 12 inches today and then nothing on Saturday and more on Sunday. This is going to be a constant hit. And the fact that it's going sideways, it looks like that's where it's headed here. Are the winds going to be bad in Williamsville tomorrow afternoon? Do you think the driving ban lifted in Williamsville tomorrow afternoon? Tomorrow evening, I could see the driving ban coming off in Williamsville, but not in the afternoon. I don't think they're going to be very eager. Once they can see, first they want to get the plows out before you. And then after that is when they'll start opening it up. Blaisdell, you were right in here as well. We'll bring in the South Towns and bring Blaisdell back on the map, and you'll be able to see it there. You're going to be right in that area over at McKinley Mall. If you're trying to get over there, take care of some running around or anything else in that area. Dashers, Dine Dash. What is it? Dine Dash?
DoorDash.
DoorDash. They're not working today, are they?
No, it's done. They're not letting anybody go out on the roads.
No one's dashing today. We talked about Angola. Jamestown, I think we just had you on the map as well, but we'll put you back. We'll spend a short amount of time here in the Southern Tier. Happy to have you folks in. It's awesome to be able to talk to all of Western New York at one time here. Lights flickering out in Amherst. Fortunately, no power outages yet. So that's what we've got. When will it be done in Lewiston? Lewiston isn't really in the core of all this. If we take a peek at it, I'd be curious to see if you're seeing snow outside your window in Lewiston. You've got to be looking south or
I got new video
else.
in.
Oh, go ahead.
Well, answer Lewiston, and then we'll go to this video on Angola on the lake.
Great. All right. This is what we have in Lewiston as we're watching the radar on the screen, and it'll give you an idea of what this is doing up there. And so Lewiston, this is knocking on the door, but you're not in the middle of the snow. So I hope you're not sweating what's going on up here, because it's these folks down here that are getting beat up. So Lewiston, you're not going to be in the center of this event, I think, from pretty much here on out. Dave, go ahead and show us the video.
Yeah, this is on Twitter, and this is Angola on the lake. So this is right near where Mickey Rats was. And this is, I mean, you can see the railings all iced up, and look how close the water is. That's a good drop off, by the way, or should be a good drop off right there where the beach meets the wall, but the waves are just crashing. I mean, that is some significant waves crashing over the walls here at Angola on the lake. So this is, thank you to the Twitter user that shared with us.
Yeah. Helen says she remembers Mickey Rats on certainly on better days. Wow, look at that thing there. Holy cow. Cheektowaga total. You're in the 30-inch mark there, Robert. No doubt about it. She says, Mary says, sorry if you said the town of Tonawanda near Boulevard Mall. I think we did. And as far as where the snow is coming down right now, I can put this loop on for you. We'll bring it back on the screen and show you that these are the areas, Mary, that are getting beat up right now. And it looks like that's where it's going to be for the duration of this evening. The Doppler is going to kind of hold its spot. There's no factor that's really going to begin to bend this a lot. It has wavered. It's a little closer to the edge of the South Grand Island Bridge as opposed to Blaisdell. It flexed ever so gently, maybe a half a mile. That's about it. Clarence and Akron. And as we look at this, Emily, Clarence and Akron are up there right in here. We can kind of dive in and give this a look. And what you're going to find up there as we go over to Clarence and Akron, you're right in the center of this. The open fields, thank you very much for the question. The open fields out there, the reports that I've seen, people are saying that this is just, again, sideways snow that develops over the lake, goes all the way, it actually goes past Akron and Clarence and all the way to Oakfield in Alabama. Just north of Batavia. Haven't heard any reports. Anybody out in Genesee County? Is this thing going sideways out there as well? It says, haven't seen it this bad since the 85 storm. I cannot wait. Someone text us a picture of a drift. The first drift picture would be great. And how do you do that? You just do this. Pop it right on let me pop you off of here real quick, Michael. Send it to 503-ANDY, 503-2639. That's a text line. If you type weather, you get an immediate response. And if you like the questions here, maybe we didn't get to yours and you need another answer, we're happy to do that if you just send a text. It goes right to it goes right to the phone, and we can answer your text in pretty rapid fashion. Can we zoom into Kenmore? We can go right into Kenmore. We can go right into whatever area you'd like, Colette. So happy to do it for you. And I'm not sure which map she was interested in, whether it was where it was. I think we know it's in Kenmore, but you can see the northern edge of this kind of in and out of Kenmore. We'll go in a little bit more. And you can see that Tonawanda, there's the 290 with the dividing line for a while, and then it kind of creeps up and in again. I think she might have been talking about the totals in Kenmore, and Kenmore's in the 30-inch zone, 100% in there. Mary, thank you very much. Appreciate it. The hour by hour, can we do that for Mike? We haven't done it, Dave. If you're prepared for it, we can re-rack it to where it kind of matches up now. Is that something that you're ready to do?
Almost.
Okay, no problem. I'll take another one here. Weather in Springville on Sunday evening. Well, Don, weather in Springville on Sunday is going to deteriorate. You're going to be where the snow is. You're out of the snow until we get to the evening hours on Christmas Eve, and that's when it arrives into the deeper South towns. Appreciate that. Happy to do this. Depew, when is the worst of the winds supposed to hit? Well, we had some big ones. I'm not sure we're going to top the 70-mile-an-hour mark, but these 60s are going to be with us for a long time as well. Here's one for the snow map, looking for a snow total, which we can absolutely do, and happy to do it, about Olcott. You're way up there north. Honestly, I don't remember what Olcott was going to get, but I don't think it's going to be the huge hit, because when you watch what happens on this map, it drops off so significantly once you make your way. There's 425. We'll follow that up. A great summer drive. Wilson, a few inches in Wilson, a few more in Olcott, Newfane, but it is not a direct hit up there. You guys are kind of on the edge. You got to get the Lockport to find the double digits and do that as well. Orchard Park on Sunday, Viv, you're going to get the snow that comes in maybe almost halftime. It looks like it'll start sneaking in, but it looks like tomorrow afternoon, it drifts a little bit further to the south of the city. Laura says, do not go out in this. I work at Tops, and they close down early. The scariest thing she's ever been through. Thank goodness her worker helped her drive home. That is awesome. I appreciate, glad you got home. But yes, it is not a fun drive. This is the thing that what she was driving through. And I'll do this with the sound off, because it's brutal. And when we bring it back, let's see if it'll play. May have to reload that. There it is. This is the type of stuff. I'll give you a little sample of the wind. I won't call it deafening, but it is bitter cold. These folks were stuck at this gas station for hours waiting. You can't even see the cars that are getting at the fuel pumps. It's that much. Hey, Dave, are we ready to go through the stream here? I'll let you take us through current time. Let's just break it down. Breakfast, lunch, and dinners, okay, right on into Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, this is what it's looking like right now. This is where that band is impacting the North Towns, Buffalo significantly. And I'm just going to roll this through time, because this is where the band is going to stay. It's not going to move much. So what you're seeing is what you're getting. Once we go into Christmas Eve day, again, it's still impacting the Buffalo area. The evening on Christmas Eve, that's when this band finally gives the North Towns a break. You can see this is 5:40, 6:40 in the evening, finally shifting south further into the South Towns and into ski country once we go into the overnight hours, Christmas Eve into Christmas Day. And by the way, I'm just on Twitter. I'm just reading a latest update from the town of Evans. They issued a voluntary evacuation for areas along Lake Erie Beach, Grandview Bay, Purvis Landing, and Went Beach. They have 2 shelters available at Lake Erie Beach Volunteer Fire Hall and the Highland Hose Volunteer Fire Hall.
There you go.
That is something that was tweeted a few hours ago, but just want to give everybody a heads up. If you're having issues and you're living along the shorelines of Lake Erie in the Angola area, I know we just showed you that video, but there are 2 shelters available. That's at the Lake Erie Beach Volunteer Fire Hall and Highland Hose Volunteer Fire Hall. So that's according to the Erie County Twitter account.
Good information down there. Travel conditions tomorrow. I don't want this one to go away. Andrew had, before it slides up the screen here on me, travel conditions from Holland to Depew. It's a tough commute because it's south to north. You're going to be going right through that snow band in the afternoon. It is coming towards you in Holland, and you're going to try to go through it to get to Depew. That's going to be a tricky one. Airport update. I can tell you that the snow is blowing right through the airport right now. So there has been no change in visibilities out there. Check on your elderly neighbors, and your pets. Make sure that they're all okay. No problems there. East Aurora. Saturday, will the wind still be at 60 when the snow comes back? Okay, I've got good news, Michelle. It's not going to be 60 miles an hour, but it'll be 40, gusts up to 40 miles an hour, which is not going to be much better. Honestly, I'm not sure there's a whole lot of difference between the snow going sideways at 60 miles an hour or 40 miles an hour. Niagara Falls, you can see it here by Christmas Day. This is south of you and south of Lockport, south of Grand Island. So you've just got to wait all of Christmas Eve. If you can rock back, David, through Christmas Eve here and help us out, that'd be great.
Yep, there you go. This is Christmas Eve, 7 o'clock in the morning. And what town were we asking about?
The Falls. There's a lot of folks that have some information. They feel the Falls are under the gun. You'll be close. Maybe Grand Island is the one that'll be in and out of this, but I think the Falls are going to be okay. Cambria, since we're right there, to North Tonawanda tomorrow. So there it is in the morning. I don't think Cambria to the Falls is going to be a problem. You're going to be to the north of that band, super easy. Hasn't stopped all day in Cheektowaga, and it's getting worse. When's it going to lighten up? I don't think it is. Looking at how this works, if we go back to the time that it is now, so many Cheektowaga folks in the house asking about this. We can re-rack it right to the actual time it is now, the start of this loop, and there's really very little wobble to this at all. Just kind of jog through it a little bit and hold it right. That's a great setting there, David. And look for the darkest blue on your screen. And because this is very narrow, on either side of that dark blue, you're going to find blowing snow, but it's the middle that is the paralyzing version of it. And you can see how it does wander back and forth until we get to the evening hours. And there's about 7 o'clock until the front end of the band will enter the South Towns earlier, but it takes a while for it to clear Buffalo. And Buffalo could be enduring this pretty much all day Friday and all day Saturday. So that's why the numbers that we had on the map are not just made up fictitious numbers. These are legit snowfall totals if you can get out and measure them, because the drifting is going to be phenomenal, crazy.
I do have some video of the drifting from Ashley on Twitter here if you want to take a look.
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? Let's take a look at the drift. It's some video. Yeah, go ahead and play it.
Yeah, this is the video. I mean, unfortunately, you can barely see it because it's so windy and the winds are just whipping out there. You can see right there where you see in that curve. That's where some of the drifts are already occurring, where I'm putting the cursor right out here. So still very difficult to see. I mean, I'm putting this in slow motion. You can barely see the pole in the background. I think that's the stop sign. This is somewhere in the north towns, but you're already starting to see some drifting, and I believe this is some ground right here. So yeah, it is bad.
All right. Hey, there's I just looked at this one, and it says Cambria, Route 104 and 425 blowing snow. Even though you're not, and thank you very much, Ron, for sending that in, because even though you're not in the center of all the action where it's the paralyzing snow, you're still getting the blowing snow even up into some of the north towns just by being on the fringe of it. That's a very, very good point. Is the wind going to calm down tomorrow? No, the wind is not going to. It'll drop from the 60-mile-an-hour gust to the 40-mile-an-hour gust, but still it's going to be pretty bad. Make sure your furnace exhausts are clear. That's another good one. A lot of folks had that last time, but once you start to get above 12 and 15 inches of snow, you've got to make sure that all of that is cleared out. Thank you very much for everybody coming by. All we ask out of this is that you do a quick share and a quick like. Doesn't matter if you're watching on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. All you've got to do is kind of say, hey, this is worth looking at, and it helps others come on in, take a seat at the table, get their questions answered as we move on. Talked about Niagara Falls again. We'll do it for Kristen tonight and tomorrow. It's right on the edge. You're going to have the blowing snow, just as the gentleman mentioned up in Cambria, and that's what you've got there now. Show the weather in Orchard Park now. Looking for the OP. So the OP weather is not that bad. If you're on the West Seneca border, you're probably a lot uglier than you are if you're on the south side. So West Seneca and Orchard Park come together right in here. You've got some snow, but you can see how it really diminishes. It's more burstable snow, but it's blowing sideways. And then as far as what's going to happen in Orchard Park, love the all caps, Noah. Let's go ahead and roll this through time for them. The arrival time of snow in OP. Do you want to handle that real quick? Sure.
Yeah, cool. Arrival time for Snow Pete. Yeah.
Sorry,
we're going through reports and
hold on. Let me stop you. Noah has dropped from all caps to upper and lowercase with punctuation, and he's curious about Sunday.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Sunday, the band's going to be in your backyard. This is Christmas Day, Sunday morning, and that's when the flakes are really going to start to pick on up here through the overnight hours. Early Sunday, the band is going to be just on the edge as you're waking up for OP, but still you're seeing it in the deeper Southtown ski country as we go into Christmas morning day and into the afternoon hours. So it's still going to be on the border there, Andy, with OP and East Aurora, but that is going to be the northern edge of this band.
Yes, it is. And so that's what we've got there. All right, we get an A+ for the reporting. Thank you very much. And again, all you got to do is hit the share button, and it helps everybody out. We love it. Appreciate it. And this has been such a heck of a couple of weather weeks in Western New York. We're ready to keep this rolling, and hopefully we'll catch a break between now and New Year's. I think we do. The current pictures from Mayor's Park in North Tonawanda. So if you want to grab do you have the stream up? And maybe we can get a look at that. So there it is. Hey, thank you, Noah. I was giving you a hard time for the caps, man. It's all good. Lancaster tonight and tomorrow in Lancaster. Yeah, that's when we're going to end up with. This is what we've got right now. I know Dave is going to look for that stuff while we give you a look at this. Here's where the activity is now, and in Lancaster we're going to zoom in. We're out. There it is. Too far. Now we're in the water. Now we're out.
You're talking to me?
No. I was my zooming skills were not quite as good as I would have wanted on that one. Went in a little too far. Let's just hold it there. You can see that the dark blue, the banding in there, that's where you're finding all of the heavy snow, the debilitating snow. People on the fringe of that, it looks like it's now just south of the 290, right on through here, into West Seneca. You're getting blowing snow. The shoreline of Hamburg is getting blowing snow. Occasionally in the deeper sections of Orchard Park. But I've got to tell you, in here, once you get out of this little white, the gray, things improve greatly. It's really such a narrow ribbon from the Tonawandas down to into the some of the south towns is where you're finding this blowing snow all the way out to Cheektowaga. And again, when you look at this, it's that blue band on the screen that nobody's going through that. That's where you cannot travel. It's just it's not possible. All right. What do we have going on in here? Is it safe to travel from OP to Boston on Sunday? OP to Boston on Sunday. That's going to be one of those tricky ones because it's coming your direction. It's not a long commute. You're going to get the snow band down there at some point during the day. During the day on Sunday, no doubt. So I think you're going to have to deal with some snow down there as well. All right, let's go ahead and look and see if there's some more questions coming in. All you've got to do is pop them in on the screen. We can see them as they do. Happy to serve you guys as much weather as you want to eat on this Friday as everybody's getting ready to get into the weekend. When will the winds die down? Ashley wants to know. She said the winds will die down tonight. So by tomorrow morning, they're not going to be 60 miles an hour, but they'll still be 40 miles an hour. So this is what we've got here. Kind of Joel. I think Joel's going to give us a poem or something. Oh, the weather outside is frightful, but the fire is so delightful. Thank goodness you don't hear me sing. me either. Gowanda to Olean tomorrow. You ready to cue up the Southern Tier, David?
Yeah, I got some more photos of flooding, but this is not in the South Towns. This is actually up in Tonawanda. This is from Allison. She reached out to us and said this is at Mayor's Park in North Tonawanda.
Wow. Now, where is that water? Where is that water from? I'm not familiar with Mayor. I know a lot of parks. I don't remember Mayor's Park.
No,
must be connected to a body of water at some point.
Like the canal, maybe.
Yeah.
maybe on either the shoreline of the canal or in the Niagara River area
Yeah.
is what I
Anybody
would
out
be
there?
gathering.
Yeah, anybody out there, put it in the comments. Let us know where Mayor's
But I
Park
mean, you
is.
can see the waters just going
Yeah,
through the gazebo / hut right there. I mean, that's
yeah, you got it.
impressive.
Yeah. Are you ready for Darlene? Gowanda to Olean. I'll let you. Oh, you sourced that fast. Wow. Look at that.
Yes.
Instant access.
Christmas
Gowanda,
Eve, correct?
Gowanda to Olean on Saturday on the 24th.
Oh, you might luck out.
Didn't give a time, but I think Gowanda is the one. I was going to answer it, but Gowanda is the one that's the wild card right now.
Yeah,
Olean,
I
we're
would
not
say
Olean, we're not
first
concerned about.
Mayor Park, by the way, is on the canal. That is from Rachel. So thank
Great.
you for
Thank you, Rachel.
for giving us that report. Yeah, so this is 8 o'clock Christmas Eve morning. Gowanda just on the edge here, but not in the heaviest of the lake band. So if you're gonna do anything, any traveling going from Gowanda to Olean, no issues, by the way, on Christmas Eve at all.
Right,
It's
there we go.
Gowanda that's going to be on the edge. The best chance of traveling during the day is going to be during the morning hours for you folks.
All right, there you go.
Early afternoon and then late afternoon. Can't guarantee that band's not going to be north of you folks.
Earlier the better on that one. Rochester to Buffalo tomorrow. So you're on the map there. You didn't, Anna, if you have a time of day, it helps out. But I think if it's early, let's just look at the morning hours of Christmas Eve. And as we travel from Rochester to Buffalo, you're not doing it on the thruway. Or if you are, you're only going to a certain depth. I don't think it's happening in the morning. As a matter of fact, I think you'd have to wait until about 8 o'clock at night before you could even attempt a trip coming from the north.
Yeah, but I mean, you've got to keep in mind, okay, so you can't travel in the thruway. They're not going to open the thruway at that time. So
no,
you have to go
on the back roads.
On the back roads. The back roads, even for the areas that aren't getting, the biggest heavy lake effect snow, you're still seeing that snow from the farms and from the sides sweep onto the roadway. So you're still going to have blowing snow at that time. Wind gusts up to 40, 50 miles an hour. That's going to be some very tough traveling. And keep in mind, you also have a travel ban in the entire Erie County. So I don't know if you're going to be able to even get down those roads once you go into the metro.
Nope. Moving on. All right, here we go. The current storm surge level. And what we can talk about real quickly was what it was and at what time it was. We can kind of give you an idea of what it did in downtown Buffalo as it rolled through. And this is the lake level meter. The number that we saw in the initial surge was 7 feet. It then came back and hit 8 feet on that. And it didn't do anything that you would think of out of the ordinary to the city, but those were the rollers out there. Those big waves that had grown to 10 feet someone had measured them. I believe one of the buoys might have picked it up and figured out the magnitude of that. So I don't know if you're able to grab the current lake level. If we get it, Danny, we'll come right back to it, but I don't want to hold up the questions on that one. We will get that to you as soon as we can. Snow for Medina, snow totals in Medina. Yeah, we can do snow totals in Medina, 100%. I can tell you, I don't know if you're going to be happy or sad about these snow totals, but we'll pop them on the screen. You can get a look. All right, let's go right here. This is the map. In the interior section of that map, as you're in the turquoise, those are the big numbers. And Dennis, since you're wearing a tie, you're all dressed up on the picture. Appreciate it. Let's go up to Medina. Notice how the numbers drop off, and you're probably outside, just outside of the double digits, but it will be blowing around. And sometimes it's not the amount of snow out there, it's which way is it going. Is it safe to travel from Cheektowaga to North Tonawanda Sunday morning? I think the Tonawandas have the best situation of breaking out into some freedom there. But as we look at this map Sunday morning, if you want to roll that a couple hours forward into Sunday, Dave.
Yep, there you go.
Yeah, there you go. And he was
Christmas
looking for
Day.
And he's looking for Cheektowaga to North Tonawanda. You know what? You're probably not going on the majors, but this is good news for you. So Cheektowaga may come out of this thing. When does Cheektowaga pull out of this? If this
late Christmas Eve. Late Christmas Eve.
What time on Christmas Eve does it start making the move? Oh, Saturday night. That's correct.
Yes.
Yeah, they're all blending together, but you're right. So Sunday morning, that's good news. Yes. So there you go. Excellent. I hope that makes don't cancel any plans there. Snow total for Lockport. I'd say it by heart, but I'd be lying if I remembered exactly what it was. It looks like you're in that maybe 6 to 10. If you're by the car dealers on transit, you are a lot more than if you're north of the canal on the other side. So you're kind of the cutoff there in this as well. Viv wants to know, will it be over on Monday? No. The winds will be back to normal levels, but the snow will likely continue in some way, shape, or form across Western New York. There it is, connected to the canal. Thank you very much. Let's see what we've got here. Do you have any current wind gust info? Who's getting the highest gusts right now? I believe it's been treating everybody equally, but since you're asking, and I've got the ability to do this right now, what I'm going to do is kind of take a peek at one of the weather stations out there right now that's been doing a lot of the recording on this. 9:45 a.m. Out at the stadium, they had a 55-mile-an-hour gust there. Since then, the wind gusts have been between 40 and 55. So they have not gone over 60 out at the stadium. We appreciate that. And what else do we have here? Ellicott Creek Mayor, thank you. All the information on Mayor's Park. I now will not forget that in Mayor's Park. This is great. Donna, thank you. Dave and I are happy to do this for you. And it's kind of a blazing a new trail digitally, but we're happy to answer as many questions and kind of open this up to everybody. And again, all you've got to do is hit a like and a share. I know a lot of people have been in the room for a while, but we're seeing a ton of folks just coming in. The neat thing about this is compared to TV is we never knew who was on the other side. Now we do. It's great. We got to kind of get a name and a face. And when is the 219 going to be open? Hey, Dave, I want to come back over to the map that you had right there and address the closure of the 219. I think the thruway has a better chance to open before, and I should say the thruway to Rochester has a better chance to open before the 219, because as this shifts, the 290, the 990, the 190 will open up on the evening of Christmas Eve. And when I say open, they'll become snow-free as that snow travels south, correct?
Yes, but then the 219, here comes that band all the way down. This is going to happen late Christmas Eve. So from now until Christmas morning, or Christmas Eve morning, this band is going to be just to the north of the 219. Then we get into later Saturday evening, and then here comes the darker blues, the very heavy lake effect band moving into 219, Hamburg, Orchard Park, those exits. That's not going to be a pretty sight.
Yep. Yeah. So there it is. So I don't think the 219 Viv is going to open up. They're not going to see anything encouraging about it. You're going to find these same whiteout conditions during the day. So I think that's closed for a while. The thruway isn't going to open until they know it's not coming back in. And then they're going to need some assurances on that and see it like that. When is the wind in South Buffalo supposed to die down? The big gusts are going to go away tonight and by tomorrow morning, Cheryl. But the wind is not going to disappear this weekend. It's going to be with us all the way. What do we have here? Jane said the Dunkirk Pier was underwater at noon. Boy, if you have a picture of that, Jane, just add it to Facebook or send it to this text right here. 503 Andy. Just put it in there. Area code 716-503-2639. And send images. If you guys are weather spotters, you took a neat picture, you got a snowdrift or something, send it in. Love to see it, and we can add that stuff and put it on social, let other people see what's going on out there as well.
We were just getting a report from Kristen that the water level in North Tonawanda along the canal was pretty high.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Were you able to source the level of the lake yet, or are you still working on that?
I am still working on that.
Okay, no problem.
I'll get to it.
Snow total, that's okay. I've got a town by town, Niagara County, a request for a snow total town by town in Niagara County. If you're not in Niagara County, sit still. It's not going to take long. We'll do this and get right to it here, because with this map, it doesn't take long for you to see. What you're going to notice is you get up here in Youngstown, the 4 inches that's there, that's already done. It's probably what fell from this morning, the slush. And this is having a little bit of a time with the water content because you had water sloppy slush that came down this morning. Now it's transitioning to a powder fluff, and you can see the numbers here as we get to Buffalo. Just so you know what the colors are, you're between 20 and 30 inches. Anything that's teal on your screen, if you're more, to me, that's a kind of a pink. You're double digits there. Anything less than that, purples and blues, are single digits around the edge. So that's a slow walk around this snow map, and honestly, it's a lot of it's going to be going sideways, so it's going to be a very difficult thing. But there you go. You ask, Steve, and we're happy to deliver. Appreciate that. That Kristen wants. Maybe this is why they're all asking about Niagara Falls. They want the snow in Niagara Falls. Canal in the Tonawondas are flooding. All right, that Kristen, thank you very much. The reason for that is because you have this. You've got this, the lake sage that has gone up to 8 feet. And I know we're going to get the latest number coming up here, but that was big. That was way up. That's an 8-foot difference from what it was. So this is what it did in the city. And then the same thing is happening to the canal because all of that water at this end of the lake has to get into the Niagara River. The Niagara River flows faster. It comes up between 1 and 3 feet. And that can be enough to cause that. So thank you very much. Kristen. Appreciate that.
I do have the latest numbers. I have it on the screen right now if you wanted to go.
Is it pretty enough to show, or are we looking at time? Well, why not? Sure.
Yeah, right now. So this is the jump. So this is when that big wind came on in, if you remember, early today. So you had an 8-foot jump, within an hour or so. And the highest the lake got, we had at least 2 maximums, almost an 8 and 9 foot jump right here. And now it's starting to level off. So you're starting to see, so the highest peak was right around lunch, close to 580. And now it's going down. It got down almost 2-3 feet within the last couple of hours. So we've reached our peak.
Yeah, so that's the maximum that the lake is going to get. It's not going to go back to that. But the problem is, the higher water levels, even if it's not going to be more than 5 feet, it's still pushing more water into the Niagara River. That is going to raise it up. That's going to cause problems for people who have docks and then folks that have interests along the river as well, because that could cause some issues in there. Tori, we say thank you. No problem. All right, David, I can't believe it took us more than an hour to get one of these, but Barb is the bell. Where's the bell? Is she the first Go Bills comment?
Yeah, they play tomorrow. I mean, you think it's cold here? Go to Soldier Field. I mean, it is going to be frigid out there.
All right, wait for it. Here it is. There it is. The Go Bills bell. Props are cheap, but that's cool. Thank you very much, we appreciate that. If you could fill it with likes, that's awesome. And the shares are the big one. Has anyone ever seen the 70 to 75 miles wind? It's windy, but I haven't seen those. They are rare. It does happen about once a year. As a matter of fact, David, do you remember the study that we just helped complete on the wind at both downtown Buffalo and the airport? And I think it surprised me how many 70s there are.
Yeah, especially along the shoreline. I do remember last year, the big gust that was about 70 miles an hour that brought down the grain elevator right across the street from, not Riverside, Riverworks, there where the rink is. So it happens often. I just don't remember the number off the top of my head.
It was more.
That's the last time we saw the big gust.
More frequent than you and I both would have bet money on. We've got a question here. What's going on in Wheatfield? This is the Doppler as it stands now. I know we show you a bunch of maps. This is what's actually happening. You can zero into the edge here and go up to Wheatfield. So if you take River Road, what you're going to notice is the colors really don't change. That's indicative of it not being within the core of this blue. The core of that blue is what we're watching. And you can see there's very little movement. If you put a pin on the edge of that thing, there's a half a mile of wiggle room, which really only takes it from the Grand Island Bridge over to maybe the power plant. And that's it. So you're not seeing a lot of wobble. On the south side of this, when we start the loop, it's kind of staying put. The north side is definitely more of a sharp edge where the south side is jagged, and it breaks off a few of these pieces and runs through. All right, there's probably more Doppler than more Doppler than you ever know about. All right, Jason says, what about the totals in downtown Buffalo? We're looking at them right now for you. You're up to around 30 inches of snow. I'll go back to the total map for you, and we'll pop that up, and it's super easy to do. About 3 seconds of our life to wait for that to get on there, and there you go. But I could have just told you this, and it would have been easier. You're up around the 30-inch mark in there, 38. So it's a big number. That's coming down. It's not stopping. Geneva, what does it look like next week? Any snow during the storm out in Geneva? Well, let's go out and no, I don't think it's not going to reach. Not going to reach Geneva. You can see this is, and even off of Lake Ontario, it's more of an event for the west or the east end of Lake Ontario. Will it calm down tonight? No, the winds are going to keep rolling. It's not something that's going to disappear anytime soon. They won't be as strong as we get into the day tomorrow, but they're still going to be existing, and that'll be a problem for everybody too. Hey there, Skycam in downtown Buffalo. We can barely make out the bill. I've been watching this the whole time, waiting to get a look at downtown, and cannot see it. What is this? Says Amanda, we get the crazy negative degrees in Wisconsin. Y'all get the crazy snow. Isn't that correct? It is. Wisconsin needs the opposite wind direction to get snow. They're on the other side of the lake, which an easterly breeze doesn't happen much. But man, it gets cold. Wait till you see the game tomorrow. Cheryl says the wind is really strong in South Buffalo, and says that what was the wind gust in Cheektowaga? The airport,
71, 72.
The airport?
Yeah.
72? Wow.
I want to say, I have the list pulled up on my computer. I could tell you that Lackawanna is the bell ringer, 79 miles an hour. Buffalo Airport, 72. And that was at 9:40 this morning.
You got it. Wow, look at that. Conditions in Niagara Falls, New York, they don't look as bad as this, Dar. They are going to be comparable. Well, first of all, give you an idea, the snow total up there in Niagara Falls, again, not a huge number, but boy, Niagara Falls was well represented. She says it's swirling snow, but there's not much going on up there in the falls, and that's kind of what this is telling us too. You're on the edge of all this. You're not the heaviest snow. You're the lightest out of this. And I think it adds up what you had what you got this morning is included in this total as well. Let's pop this on the screen, and you can see that by tomorrow evening, it looks like, Dave, is this the spot where we feel it's about to exit downtown Buffalo?
That is
at the moment.
I would say, yeah, it's gonna be Saturday evening.
Saturday evening, it begins exiting and really focusing on the Southtown. So we'll call it post game, it moves there. Are these maps available online? Yeah, we put the streams on, but you're not able to click around on them, but they're within our videos. Will it calm down tonight? We covered that one. Let me catch up to some of these new ones in here. Where do we got? A snow total for Tonawanda. How much tomorrow by 5 p.m.? Now, the snow total that we've had on the screen for you, admittedly, is a combo number. Because there's really very little movement in this, and it's probably worthwhile kind of keeping it that way. But the Tonawandas, because you're right on the edge, there's the heavy, there's the bullseye in there, you're looking at half of that when you're on the fringe, because it's only going to come up to the south. And look at the South Grand Island Bridge. That's a hefty number there. You make that very short trip past McDonald's, Burger King, and the dealership on the island, and you're down to a much smaller, manageable number. So happy to do that for you. Snow total and timing for Arcade. Paul literally just got his question in, and happy to do this for you. We're kind of caught up a bunch from what we had. And anybody that just walked into the room, please, if you pick this up on a like or a share, do the same for somebody else. And do that right now. If you could give us a share and a like, it makes a huge difference by bringing everybody in the room. I'm going to pull you off the screen there for a moment, Paul, and we're going to bring you down to Arcade. And we're going to do this a little bit closer as well. So let's bring in just the South Towns for a moment. North Tonawanda. We've spent a lot of time up in your neck of the woods. Arcade is kind of on the outside looking in tonight. And not until tomorrow evening, tomorrow late afternoon into the evening hours, does the snow band even get to you. It looks like East Aurora is the earlier destination. It'll spend more time there, but eventually you will get some snow. It's just going to have to take its time getting down there. No problem. Are there blizzard conditions in Chicago for the game? And I know it's going to be cold, David. We talked about that. We've got a graphic that we built for the game. Actually, you've done, I think, is this the one? Did it just come in yet? There it is. The icicles are a nice touch on this graphic.
Yeah, it's going to feel like it.
Right.
I think the worst thing about this
Buffalo
game,
Bills. Go Bills.
I think the worst thing, I mean, it's the cold, but tackling, I mean, nobody wants to tackle in this kind of cold. That hurts.
No. Are you speaking from football? Are you speaking from football experience, David?
No, I am the farthest away from being an athlete.
I couldn't help.
I have no coordination.
But the passion is there. The passion is there. All right, what do we have here? Kathy wants to know how much in Newstead. All right, Buffalo Bills tomorrow. Boy, they can come out with a cold weather win. That would be fantastic. Newstead is the opposite direction, but it's really just a mouse click away for us as we can bring this in and show you what's going on up there in Newstead. And you can see that just to give you an idea of where these snow totals are, it's the teal that's the 20s and 30s. The teens is anything that has a purple or a pink, and then you can see the numbers dropping off there as well. Sliding over a little closer to Albion, Medina, you're in the low teens, and Batavia. If anybody's from Batavia, we haven't had one request in Batavia. Someone tell me what it's like out in Batavia right now. Have you guys been getting the whiteout conditions, or has it been pretty easy going? Thank you very much, Robin. We appreciate it. There's another Go Bills. Now you guys are going to do it just to make me ring the bell. But in any case, if you have any questions, we've been on here a while. We've covered just about every corner of Western New York. If you don't have any more corners for us to cover, we'll go back and find some great video and get ready for the next one that we might crank out a little bit later this evening. So we appreciate you guys all diving in. And again, we're about 20 away from 700 likes. So if you want to put us over the top, we'll end it at 700. That would be fantastic. Yes, here come the Go Bills. I shouldn't have said I was going to do that. So there we go. Haven't used that bell since I was doing the weather machine stuff. So it was fun to dig out on this one. We appreciate everyone who has stopped by. Brant on Sunday. David, Sunday for Brant.
Sunday for Brant, you're going to be getting lake effect snow throughout the day. I mean, you're just on the edge, but that band will be in your location.
Yep. So there it is. So there you go. We got your, where was the question? I just missed it.
For Brant, Sunday.
It was waiting to hear on, oh, there it is. Brant Sunday. Perfect. John says, it seems to be slowing down in Tonawanda. Will it pick back up? John, you have an excellent observation because that's exactly what's happening. It's teetering between you guys and areas just to the south of you. So I'm going to remove the totals for 1 minute just to help out John here, because a lot of the questions that come in now, I hate to leave as soon as you get a pile of people that come into the room and they haven't had a chance to get their questions answered. It's awesome. So this is what we have in Tonawanda right now, and sliding this thing over. Great profile picture, John. I'll pull it off the screen so we can get a look at where this is going. And you can see the Tonawandas have been on the edge of this the entire day, sometimes swallowed by it. But right now, and we'll do a 2-hour time lapse. Notice how it's in Kenmore, then it's almost to the Tonawandas, then back down the Kenmore. And that's what we've got. That's what we got happening there. Explain what a seiche is. It's all of that wind that pushes the water to one end of the lake, and then it's like a storm surge. And that's what we're finding on Lake Erie that's happening tonight. So thank you very much, Sue. On behalf of David and myself, we really appreciate all the good things that you've said, all the abilities to share this. We are 6 shares away from 700. And then that would put us over the top, and we'll end it there for now for the afternoon. We'll do another one after dark when we see this band go, and we'll get the latest information for you. 694. Who's got a finger out there? David, are you ready? Do a little wave on the way out here at the 3 o'clock to everybody. As soon as we hit the 700 likes, we'll bail out. We'll ring the bell at 700 and call this one an end for this one. 696. Who gets the last question? Will we be able to travel Christmas Eve, Alden, Genesee County to Rochester around 11? And it does look positive that will happen. Alden later in the evening on Christmas Eve. That goes 2 away, 2 likes away from ending it. Who wants to put us over the top and do this thing? That's awesome. Appreciate it. There we go. 700, everybody. Thanks for stopping by.